Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, I would say thank you for joining to our presentation. Let me introduce myself. My name is Urwatul Usko and my partner is Jian Mariana. In this opportunity, I would like to present our presentation about manajemen pendidikan point coordinating. First, definition of coordination. According to Money and Rely, coordination is orderly arrangement of group effort to provide unity of action in the pursuit of common goals. Atau dalam bahasa Indonesia bisa diartikan bahwa koordinasi adalah pengaturan yang tersusun dari upaya kelompok untuk memberikan kesatuan tindakan dalam mengejar tujuan bersama. According to Charles Wood, definition of coordination is the integration of several parts into an orderly whole to achieve the purpose of understanding. Atau bisa diartikan bahwa koordinasi adalah keterpaduan beberapa bagian yang menjadi satu kesatuan yang teratur untuk mencapai tujuan. Function of coordination. 1. Coordination through planning. 2. Coordination through organizing. 3. Coordination through staffing. 4. Coordination through directing. And 5. Coordination through controlling. Coordination and cooperation. Coordination is an effort to integrate effectively energies of different groups, whereas cooperation is sought to achieve general objective of business. Atau bisa diartikan bahwa koordinasi adalah upaya untuk mengintegrasikan secara efektif energi dari kelompok yang berbeda, sedangkan kerjasama adalah langkah untuk mencapai tujuan umum. Difference between coordination and cooperation. According to the meaning, coordination it is an ordinary arrangement of group effort in pursuit of common goals. Cooperation its mean mutual help willingly. According to scope, coordination is broader than cooperation, which includes as well because it harmonizes the group efforts. Cooperation is this term as a part of coordination. According to process coordination, the function of coordination is performed by top management. Cooperation, the function of the cooperation are prepared by person at any level. According to relationship, coordination is established formal and informal relationship. Cooperation it depends upon the sweet will of the individually, therefore it is necessary. Thank you for listening our presentation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, whom we fully respect, may we all always be given help from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Please allow me, Dwi Nur Hayati, to present one of the function in management, namely staffing. Staffing is the one of the function in management that involves managing the organizational structure through appropriate and effective selection. Yang artinya, kepegawaian merupakan salah satu fungsi dalam manajemen yang melibatkan pengelolaan struktur organisasi dalam penyeleksian yang efektif dan efisien. Hal ini berkaitan dengan rekrutmen, seleksi, pengembangan, dan kompensasi pegawai dalam suatu organisasi. Sementara fungsi kepegawaian dalam manajemen antara lain: 1. Sebagai important managerial function, yang artinya kepegawaian merupakan salah satu fungsi yang penting dalam manajemen, di mana perencanaan, pengorganisasian, pengarahan, serta pengawasan dilakukan. Yang kedua, sebagai persuasive activity, artinya kegiatan yang meresap, kegiatan yang dilakukan oleh seluruh manajer dalam setiap jenis urusan. Fungsi yang ketiga adalah continuous activity, artinya kegiatan yang dilakukan secara berkesinambungan, dilakukan berlanjut sepanjang kehidupan organisasi. Fungsi yang berikutnya adalah efisien manajemen personel, yaitu pengelolaan personil yang dilakukan secara efektif sesuai dengan prosedur, mulai dari rekrutmen, seleksi, penempatan, pelatihan, pengembangan, remunerasi, dan lain-lain. Fungsi yang kelima adalah placing the right man in the right job, artinya menempatkan orang yang tepat dalam pekerjaan yang tepat. Dan fungsi yang terakhir adalah perform by all manager, artinya penempatan dilakukan oleh setiap manajer di setiap bagian. Steps involved in staffing are as follows. 1. Manpower requirements are the first step in staffing. To plan the manpower inventory required. Step 2. Requirement. Step 3. Selection. Step 4. Orientation and placement. Step 5. Training and development. Step 6. Remuneration. Step 7. Performance evaluation. And then step 8. Promotion and transfer. Manpower planning atau perencanaan tenaga kerja. Manpower planning is also called as human resource planning. And human resource planning has to be a system approach and is carried in a set of procedure. The procedure is as follows. 1. Analyzing the current manpower inventory. 2. Making future manpower forecasts. 3. Developing employment program. And 4. Design training program. Pentingnya perencanaan tenaga kerja adalah 1. Sebagai fungsi manajerial atau key to managerial. Yang kedua adalah efficient utilization, pemanfaatan yang efisien. Yang ketiga adalah motivasi. Keempat adalah better human relation, artinya hubungan antar manusia yang lebih baik. Dan yang kelima adalah higher productivity, atau peningkatan produktivitas yang lebih tinggi. Perencanaan kebutuhan tenaga kerja sangat bermanfaat bagi perusahaan. Di antaranya adalah 1. Kekurangan dan kelebihan tenaga kerja dapat diidentifikasi, sehingga tindakan cepat dapat diambil apabila diperlukan. Yang kedua, semua program rekrutmen dan seleksi didasarkan pada perencanaan tenaga kerja. Yang ketiga, dapat membantu mengurangi biaya tenaga kerja karena kelebihan staf. Yang keempat adalah membantu identifikasi bakat yang ada pada setiap staf. Yang kelima, membantu pertumbuhan bisnis. Dan yang keenam adalah membantu organisasi dalam memahami betapa pentingnya manajemen perencanaan tenaga kerja. Well, that's my presentation. Sorry for all the shortcoming and thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wabarakatuh. Stay healthy and always be happy. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to meet you all in this beautiful day. Thank you for coming to this presentation. We would like to share about part of the essential of management process. But firstly, let me introduce myself and my partner. I am Ika Nursita and my partner Maria Ulfa. Okay, in this opportunity, I would like to present about controlling. What is controlling? Controlling is the process of directing or guiding an activity and also judging. Pengendalian adalah proses mengarahkan atau membimbing suatu kegiatan dan juga sekaligus menilainya. The word control means 1. The application of the power and authority to hold the workers responsible for their action. 2. Require in all spheres of the education process, aim and objective, teachers and students, instruction and equipment, finance and purpose. Arti kata kontrol adalah penerapan kekuasaan dan wewenang untuk meminta para pekerja bertanggung jawab atas tindakan mereka. Di sini termasuk bagaimana penerapan hak dan kewajiban. Kontrol juga diperlukan di semua bidang proses pendidikan, maksud dan tujuan, guru dan peserta didik, instruksi dan peralatan, keuangan dan tujuan. Misalnya kontrol keuangan tentu memerlukan anggaran, rekening, dan juga audit. Aspects of control. There are 4 aspects of control. 1. The power that controls. 2. The device of using the power. 3. The process to applying the power. And 4. The purpose for using the power. Ada 4 aspek dalam kontrol. Yang pertama, untuk menerapkan kontrol, pertama-tama kita harus menentukan di mana titik yang tepat kontrol sendiri itu diperlukan. Langkah yang kedua, kita memilih bentuk kekuatan yang akan diterapkan. Selanjutnya, pada langkah ketiga, kita memutuskan perangkat apa yang akan digunakan. Sedangkan keempat atau langkah terakhir, kita mengevaluasi atau menilai hasil kontrol untuk melihat apakah tujuannya telah terpenuhi. The central purpose of control is to bring about improvement and to promote the realization of the goal of education. Kita harus selalu ingat bahwa tujuan utama dari pengawasan adalah untuk membawa perbaikan, ini seperti refleksi, umpan balik, dan untuk mempromosikan realisasi tujuan pendidikan. So, the points are that we have to remember the central purpose of control is to bring about improvement and to promote the realization of the goals of education. Okay, that's all my presentation. Maybe what I shared before is have beneficial for all of you. The next slide will be presented by my partner, Maria Ulfa. Please. Thank you. See you next time. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, I will continue the presentation for my partner Ika Nursita. Okay, the power of control are legal authority, social custom, fact and principle, personal attitudes, superior knowledge. Kekuatan dari kontrol terdiri dari kekuasaan hukum, kebiasaan sosial, fakta dan prinsip, sikap pribadi, dan pengetahuan yang unggul. Device of control are many such as politicize, budget, objectifies, salarize, account, equipment, timetable, curriculum, methods, rules and regulation, personnel record, report, promotion, etc. Ada beberapa perangkat kontrol seperti kebijakan, tujuan, anggaran, gaji, akun, bangunan, peralatan, jadwal, kurikulum, metode, aturan dan peraturan, catatan pribadi, promosi, dan lain-lain. Ladies and gentlemen, before I close our presentation today, I have conclusion of our presentation. In the conclusion is, controlling is a process combines directing and judging an activity. It is an essential element of which leader can conduct in all education aspects. By controlling, there will be a clear guideline and measurement of any process. Jadi kesimpulan dari presentasi kami adalah kontrol merupakan proses penggabungan, mengarahkan dan membimbing sekaligus nilai suatu kegiatan. Hal ini merupakan elemen yang penting di mana pemimpin bisa melakukan dalam semua aspek pendidikan. Dalam controlling terdapat pedoman dan pengukuran yang jelas pada proses apapun. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's our presentation today. I hope our presentation will be useful for you and see you in the next event. Thank you for the wonderful audience and your attention. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everybody. In this time, me, Arinda Festi Pratiwi, and my partner Sulastri want to present our presentation about evaluating. The first, I want to explain what the meaning of evaluating. Well, evaluating is the process of measuring and assessing the achievement of objective while providing an insight into strengths and weaknesses and planning for future endeavors. Evaluation helps determine the effectiveness of plans for both administrators and other stakeholders like teachers, staff, students, and parents, as also the extended community. Next, the community seeks to document the objectives that have been met and to provide information to all concerned stakeholders regarding achievement obstacles and corrective action or improvements. Next, the evaluation focus. The evaluation focus divided three options. The first, process. What about the process? Process is how is the plan being carried out. And the second, outcome. Outcome is achievement of objective. And the third is impact. What the meaning of impact? Impact is effect of the plan initiated.
And the next session is in an educational setting. The evaluation of the following area is carried. There are goals and objectives. Goal and objective is mean our last destination. And the second is content. Content is selection, validity, relevance, appropriateness. And the third is processes. It's about the teacher activities, pupil activities, instructional material, and teaching method. And the last is outcome. There are assessment and feedback for our teacher to our student or student to the teacher. An evaluation serves two main functions. The first function is accountability, and the second function is learning. Account to stakeholders about the extent to which resources are being aware, used efficiently and effectively, and degree to which the intended result are being aware. The intended result are being aware achieved. In addition, they are often intended to generate empirical knowledge about the intervention in pursuit of given objectives. It is what element of the intervention worked, what did not work, and why. By contributing to such knowledge evaluation, have policy makers, program managers, and other stakeholders make informed decisions regarding policy priorities, program design and implementation, and resource allocation. And the next is and managing an evaluation can be challenging. There is technical issues can become politicized. An evaluator sometimes are viewed with suspicion and face resistance. A lack of understanding and frustration from local stakeholders, including program implementers and program beneficiaries. Evaluation may also be difficult to undertake because of contextual challenges. The contextual challenges such as limited availability of data, weak program management system, politically unstable environments, corruption, instability and conflict, and low human resource capacity and low level of transparency and access to information. There is such of the contextual challenges that make the evaluation may also be difficult to face by our organization. That's all our presentation about the evaluating. Thank you for your attention and sorry for any mistake. See you for the next presentation. Bye bye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.